sorry. I'm doing take two because that first take was awful. I don't know if they saw my video and if that swayed them in some way, or if just me talking with my dad or whatever. But my stepmom apologized, and it was actually a very good apology. And earlier this week, I uploaded a video where I just explained like some sort of trauma that I had with her. Like, she never physically attacked me, but there were just a lot of emotional abuse and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of things that I could have talked about that I didn't mention in that video. I mainly just kind of talked about the big, like, one of the big ones that really affected me. But she actually sent an apology, and I kind of feel awkward reading it out loud because I kind of just want to move on from it now. But I just think that it was very well worded. She said, "Hey," and said my name. "I want to sincerely apologize for any hurt or upset I've ever caused you. It was never my intent. Over the years, I haven't reached out because I truly believed giving you space was what you needed. And we were hoping that when you were ready, you might reach out to us. You are always welcome here. Your dad's 60th birthday might feels like a meaningful time to start fresh. None of us are the same as we were 5 years ago. We've all grown, learned, and hopefully softened a bit along the way. Time and forgiveness are powerful things. They can heal and help us rebuild what matters most. Your dad loves you deeply, and I hold love for you too. I think of you often and ask your dad how you're doing. For a long time, I thought I was still blocked, so I didn't want to intrude. And lastly, please know this is a blanket apology for anything I've ever said or done, knowingly or unknowingly, that have caused you pain or made you feel unwelcome. That was never my heart, and I'm truly sorry. With love." Her name. I just wanted to read that quickly because it feels awkward reading it now, but yeah, so I guess it's water under the bridge, I guess. I don't know. I responded and I tried to say "Oh yeah, maybe I can come over sometime soon or something like that, and we can just talk things over, what's been happening the last 5 years." And she seemed down for it, but also seemed to not actually want to set a concrete day. So I don't know, maybe I have no idea what they're going through. I don't even know if they still live in the same house that they did when I last saw them, and I have no idea how they've changed things around. In fact, as a teenager, I remember that was one thing that I hated, was that they would often change the layout of places. Oh my god, man. I remember one time, my room was upstairs. Sorry, this is kind of weird. Another brief, minor thing, but so it was a decently big house. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't even a big house. It was just it was a house, first floor, second floor, and then basement. But the basement was a good basement and could act as its own floor. And basically me and my stepbrother shared a room upstairs, and my little stepsister had another room that was just as big, and then my older stepsister basically had the entire basement to herself, which, it's kind of here, no one's usually ever proud about saying that they live in their parents' basement, but when you're a teenager and you have the whole basement to yourself, it's kind of nice. And me and my stepbrother kind of said, "Hey, our room is kind of the smallest, really." My little stepsister's room was about as big, but you could kind of argue about which room was technically smaller. But we kind of shared one of the smallest bedrooms in the house, and then the older stepsister had the whole basement. And my dad and stepmom took that into consideration and then swapped our rooms around so that me and my stepbrother had the whole basement, and and the older stepsister had that room. But again, they changed it without telling me they were going to. I just came home one day, and the room was changed, and I just was "Oh, okay, I just need to accept it," because if I complain about the fact that they didn't tell me, then they're gonna freak out and say "Oh, we did all this hard work moving stuff around, and now you're angry at us." It's one of those things that I can laugh about it now that she's apologized. I don't know, I was just constantly thinking about this idea, if she apologized, what would I even do? At a family get together, if we brought up stuff from the past, it would be very easy for her to accidentally say something that kind of triggers me, and then for me to say "Oh yeah, well, what about this?" and then it could cause an argument. But if they have matured and are good people now, then I guess that kind of discussion could be handled better. I remember once I was at a Thanksgiving dinner, And sorry, I'm just dumping memories again. But I remember once I was at Thanksgiving dinner with my stepmom's whole side of the family, and I have a lot of grudges with them too. But I might just never see them again. And I remember like we were talking about God or whatever, and I was in this huge like atheist sort of hyper atheist sort of anti God phase. And I was so like I was thinking to myself like because I was a dumb kid, like I was like, oh, like how do I open up to these people, how do I like share my thoughts with them? And I just kind of started rambling on about my arguments for why God wouldn't exist, or if he did he would be evil, that kind of stuff. And I mentioned like, oh, like there's a train crash and every single person dies, but like a firefighter saves one baby, and everyone's like, oh, this was God's miracle, the baby survived. And it's messed up because they're giving credit to God and not like thanking the firefighter that actually dove into the burning train to save the baby. And number two, what about everyone else on that train who died? Like they don't matter, like whatever. And I was bringing that up, and my dad just said like, oh well, they were all bad, and because he was playing devil's advocate. And I remember like, that just hurt me, the fact that he was clearly using a dumb argument. I don't know. I just remember as a kid, it just hurt me a lot, and I went and hid in the bathroom, and then I texted my mom and asked her to come pick me up, and my dad tried to like kind of text me and kind of sort of smooth talk me into saying like, oh, it's a Christian holiday, I'm sorry for lashing out, could come join us. And I sent a message back, and ooh, hey Teddy, like a squirrel, huh? But yeah, I sent a message back, and I said that my mom was here to pick me up, and my dad clearly felt a little bit bad. He kind of said that he didn't really want to be around all these people either. And then he said that we could go for a walk before my mom got here, but he was clearly upset. And my mom ended up arriving like just as we were heading outside, coincidentally. And then my dad was like, oh, okay. And then he tried to like speed up the pep talk a bit and told me that I should watch this weird show called Atypical that I saw like the first episode of and never heard about it again. But like, yeah, it was like he said that I should watch Atypical because I guess I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he thought that it might help me see how other people see me, but it's like, huh? Like, I don't know. Like, I always hate shows that try to show like, oh, this is how autistic people are, because every autistic person is different. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so all that's over now, I guess. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to see them again. I don't know. Like the thing is this kind of feels like a different world, because it's like earlier this week I was thinking to myself, like, currently I live with my biological mom, and I'm like, if something happened to her, what would I do? Like, I would immediately, I don't know what I would do. Like, I would have to adapt, and I would have to figure out how to live on my own, because the idea of living at my dad's place just wasn't an option at the time. Now it's not so much that way, like I'm not really sure if they would be happy with me suddenly showing up and saying, hi, can I live here now? But, at least the idea of going over to my dad's house doesn't feel like the same. It doesn't feel as bad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of making this video because, I want to make it clear that it's wrapped up now, I guess. And also just that people can change. It's kind of funny because, like, just not last Sunday, but the Sunday before that, I went to a church and I saw someone there who I knew from a few years ago. And I never really talked to them that much, but I did talk to them. And I just kind of mentioned, like, I didn't say, we just kind of started talking, and I just kind of brought up in the conversation, like, I don't remember much about what it was like back when we knew each other before, but I remember once you said this thing, and I didn't really agree with it. And they said like, oh, well, I don't really remember saying that, but like my perspective has definitely changed. Like I've changed my perspective on a lot of things since back then, and yeah, I like to think that I'm a better person now. And that really touched me. It's nice to know that like the good place is not all for nothing. I have the Good Place on Blu-ray over here. Nice little extended episodes, the complete series. Yeah. it's honestly like one of my favorite shows. I think like I definitely like this show more than Doctor Who now. Like it's one of those things where it's like, if I were to extinguish one show from existence, would I really want to sacrifice all of Doctor Who just to keep The Good Place around? Like probably not. But The Good Place just has such a good message of like, you know, encouraging people to be better, and like encouraging people to accept those who are trying to be better, you know, like showing value in saying sorry, and the idea that like no one deserves to be like completely ostracized from your life, is it's because like you should always keep open the door that they might improve one day. And then, you know, like I'm sure there are people who might watch this video who might immediately start thinking about people that actually treated them very horribly, or like did something horrible, like I don't know, like maybe like I don't know, like there could be tons of there could be tons of people out there that you could feel like, oh, like, well, I would never forgive them. But, you know, like it's the idea of like, you know, what if they do genuinely change? Like what if they do genuinely feel disgusted with themselves, and they actively like take measures in their life to try and like stop, to try and redeem themselves, to try and like make it so that no one else ever has to go through it again. Like you know, if like an abuser might change and dedicate their life to stopping anyone else who is trying to abuse people in similar ways or in any way. And it's just an interesting thought experiment to think of, like if the person genuinely completely changes, is it really worth like continuing to hold a grudge? Like I don't think so. But like there's someone who I know who I'm a little bit ticked off at right now, and they were asking for directions somewhere, or I think that's what they were gonna say, but I don't know for certain because they called my name and I just immediately said like, don't talk to me, because I was just that upset with them. And I think they know why I'm upset with them. And even if they don't, like, you know, if someone said that to me, I would, well, you know, I'd probably be a bit scared, but I'd also like try and figure out what happened. But I don't know, what can you do? I think they know what they did, and I think that they're just kind of not wanting to confront it, because that just kind of seems like the kind of person that they are right now. But yeah, so people can get better. My battery is low. I will upload this after I go get the groceries, and then go watch Alice in Borderland Season 3, Episode 4. Bye, guys.